to Donington Park for the opener of the Power Maxed Mini Challenge 2014. Now, before the tin tops roar into action, let's hear from director Anthony Williams about what's new this season. Anthony, Mini Challenge back in its 13th season now and a brand new sponsor.
Yeah, and it's great to welcome Power Maxed on board. Adam Weaver at Automotive Brands contacted us and they've come on board to support the championship. It's really good to have them around, along with Steel Seal and JB Weld, of course, their sister brands.
I must talk to you about the Best of British award. This happened last year, it's been slightly tweaked for this year. Tell us a bit more about it.
It has. The Best of British Award is a concept that myself and our Best of British partners have come up with to support young up-and-coming talent in Britain to move forward in their motorsport careers. This year we've got a £15,000 prize fund that our sponsors have put up for the winner of the prize. And this year the prize will be drawn or chosen from the top 6 JCW drivers and the winning Cooper class driver, who are going to be put through an assessment day after the end of the season to choose which of those will take away that prize.
There are lots of new faces in the Mini Challenge this year across both classes, and I'm pleased to say that Cooper driver Grace Williams has been joined by another lady, mighty mini racer Jo Polly Goldin, although it was a bit of a close call.
Oh, it's the start of the season, I've got nothing to race, what am I going to do? So we put a plea on Twitter. I really need to race next weekend in the Mini Challenge, can anyone help me? And luckily Power Maxed sort of got in touch, and we had a few conversations and managed to put a deal together to get me out here for the first round. So here we are.
Well, it's Chris Knox who claimed pole for the first race of the season alongside rookie sensation Simon Quinn. Off the line though, Quinn picked up a little bit too much wheel spin, enabled Knox to take the lead as they charged to Redgate for the first time. Luke Cordell following through into second place, Lawrence Davey just sneaking third on the brakes. This quartet though were about to embark on a race-long battle. It was Knox though who made the early running, as Cordell and Davey went side by side down and through the Craner curves. Robust but clean drivers both. Sets us up for a brilliant season of racing. Simon Quinn though wasn't to be fazed by the experience of those around him. The ex-rallycross racer moving up into third in the early stages ahead of Lawrence Davey. As Cordell and Knox battled for the lead. Davey was an interested spectator, trying to pick his way through. Drawing alongside Knox on a couple of occasions. Eventually Davey was able to make the move stick. Former champion Knox was going to remain right on his tail. With racing being as close as it is, you sometimes have to try extra hard to get through, and Simon Quinn desperately late on the brakes into Coppice, slithering wide, and that enabled Knox to reclaim third position. Unfortunately into Redgate it got a little bit too close. Quinn and Knox collided, both of them plummeted back down through the order. So that enabled Luke Cordell to pull clear of Lawrence Davey for the victory. The Cooper class, as ever, produced some thrilling action. Shane Stoney broke clear up front. Josh Gollin and Gideon Cresswell had a very, very keenly contested battle for second, which was eventually decided in favour of Gollin on the line by just 44 thousandths of a second, with Cresswell completing the podium. So let's have a look then at the final results, with the win for Luke Cordell, second place Lawrence Davey, third Neil Newstead, and then Hamish Brandon, Mark Stewart and Simon Quinn complete the top 6. In the Cooper class, victory for Shane Stoney ahead of Josh Gollin and Gideon Cresswell.
They might be small cars, but it's a monster grid for the season opener. Out in pole position for the Cooper class is last year's champ Shane Stoney, and for JCW, another former winner, Luke Cordell. So without further ado, let's go racing.
Huge field of cars then for this opening meeting of the season for the Power Maxed Mini Challenge. It's Luke Cordell who leads them off for race 2 ahead of Lawrence Davey, and Neil Newstead and Hamish Brandon on row 2. Chris Knox should fly from 10th. As ever, there's the gap in the grid between the JCW and Cooper class cars headed by Shane Stoney from Josh Gollin. Adrian Norman went well in race 1, he lines up 5th amongst the Cooper class runners, just ahead of Grace Williams. And then watch Ricky Page, very rapid, but he starts right at the back of the grid. Rolling start for the minis this time around, and who is going to get the jump from the line as we're about to go racing here at Donington Park. away we go. Who's it going to be? The black car of Caudle, the blue machine of Lawrence Davey as they charge towards Redgate for the first time. And it's Caudle who takes the immediate advantage from Davey in second. Then it's Neil Newstead who tips through in third ahead of Hamish Brandon. And then it's Mark Stewart next along with the bright red car of Simon Quinn. So the front of the pack all safely through Redgate. Oh, and we've got a spin for Adrian Norman though, and Chris Stoney makes contact with him. Disappointment for Stoney. Norman, I think, will continue. Chris may have picked up some suspension damage through that one. Meanwhile, the race leaders into the old hairpin for the first time. Luke Caudle being chased down by Lawrence Davey. As Adrian Norman rejoins the race. The pack making a magnificent sight. So many of the cars around the undulations of the Donington Park circuit. So through McLean's on towards Coppice for the cars ahead of the JCW battle. In particular, Hamish Brandon, the red car, former star of the Cooper class, coming onto terms with Neil Newstead for third place. Likewise, the battle for the lead is getting very tight. Lawrence Davey closes on to the tail of Luke Caudle as they jink through the Roberts chicane and onto the start and finish straight through to complete the lap. It means that Caudle plants the car in the middle of the road. Lawrence Davey looks one side, then the other. And the brakes into Redgate. He's not quite close enough to challenge. All about behind. And Hamish Brandon is under pressure from Simon Quinn. Further back in the Cooper class, Grace Williams has picked up a little bit of damage, but she is still withstanding the pressure from William Phillips. Into the old hairpin, and once more Lawrence Davey showing himself to Luke Caudle. He's making Caudle do this the hard way and really drive under pressure. Ricky Page, meanwhile, in the red 3 car, flying up through the order. He puts the past on Pete Diamant. As ever in the Power Max Mini Challenge, you really get 2 races in one. You get the JCW class and then the Cooper class, and this is the front of the Cooper class. Shane Stoney under pressure from Josh Gollin. Almost gives him a little bit of a tap as they come through Schwantz onto the brakes, through McLean's, and then up the hill into the double apex at Coppice. It's Martin Poole, unfortunately, off into the deep end, and that means that the safety car has come out. The pack will be bunched up. Welcome respite after the frenetic early stages. Have another look at it. And the gravel track does precisely what it's there to do. Stops the car, Martin Poole, before he hits anything solid. Marshals, as ever, have done a great job, so are about to get racing back underway as they ride over the curbs at Roberts and Luke Caudle. Sets about building an immediate buffer over Lawrence Davey, Neil Newstead and Hamish Brandon. That quartet then moving clear of Quinn, who's under pressure and passed by Chris Knox. Replay here of some action a little bit lower down the pack. It's Gideon Cresswell going sideways, spinning around and stopping in a very exposed position on the track, fortunately avoided as Ricky Page, commitment to the right foot, keeps it firmly planted and rejoins. Back to the action, and it's still Caudle from Davey, and a gap opening up to Neil Newstead in third, who's a couple of car lengths clear, and while of Hamish Brandon, who's now got Chris Knox right on his tail. A pair of them jinking through the Roberts chicane, accelerating on to the completion of another lap. And here, this is good news for the blue car of Lawrence Davey. He's got a sufficient gap behind him that he can focus all his energies on chasing down Luke Caudle as Chris Knox challenges into Redgate. This is for fourth, and he goes through. Lovely manoeuvre, typical Donington Park pass as well. Into the very tight right-hander at Redgate. The road then opens up down through the swooping crane of curves, which has been completed by the leading duo. About to fight for fourth. Is there any answer for Hamish Brandon? Not really, instead he's under increasing pressure. Slightly sideways, Simon Quinn. About the Cooper class, Shane Stoney remains in command, but he is being kept very honest. Battles going on throughout the order. There's now Matt Hammond coming into pressure from Ricky Page. Don't forget Page, and that red car started at the very, very back of the field, and he's potentially going to get himself onto the podium here because he's got Josh Gollin chasing Stoney, who's contact further back. Adrian Norman once more involved. The other driver caught up is Keith Issat. I have a feeling that may be that for the pair of them this time around as now into some of the traffic our leaders come, and this is the golden opportunity for Lawrence Davey, who goes door handle to door handle with Luke Cordell and snatches the lead as they squeeze past Ricky Page into McLean's. Now can Cordell come back at Davey? Lawrence Davey, a former Legends racer, he knows a thing or two about holding his position. We're getting very late into proceedings here. They've essentially got a lap and a quarter to go as they sprint down the back straight. Got wave yellow flags, of course, for the Issat and Norman instance. They can't overtake from chicane this time around. So where can Luke Cordell challenge when he closes up on Lawrence Davey through Roberts? And he's going to be able to possibly get past here before they even arrive into Redgate. Lawrence Davey covers the inside line, but Cordell prepared to go even tighter as they arrive into Redgate. And it's the black car of Luke Cordell who squeezes through and takes the lead of the race. Lovely manoeuvre that from Cordell, and Lawrence Davey, absolutely nothing he could do. And that was the very, very best of the Power Max Mini Challenge. Incredibly close, but incredibly clean racing between the two drivers fighting for victory here at Donington Park. Now, we've got more traffic coming up ahead of Luke Cordell. Will he be able to negotiate it without Lawrence Davey getting back onto terms with him? And that is the Cooper class leader, Shane Stoney, who moves aside. He allows the JCW class leaders to sprint past as Cordell and Davey exit McLean's for the final time. Drive into Coppice, Cordell just flicks the car sideways and then sprints down this undulating back straight for the final time. And will he be relieved or what to see that waved yellow flag into Roberts, because it means that come what may, Lawrence Davey cannot challenge Luke Cordell, who just needs to get the braking right down through the gears and accelerates through to make it 2 from 2 this weekend at Donington Park. Lawrence Davey follows him home in second position. The third car across the line is the Cooper class winner, Shane Stoney, and then completing the JCW rostrum, it's Neil Newstead. Fantastic race in the Power Max Mini Challenge. Stoney once more picking off where he completed the 2013 season. Let's have a look at the final results, and it was Cordell victorious from Davey, and Newstead Simon Quinn in fourth ahead of Chris Knox and Hamish Brandon. In the Cooper class, Shane Stoney winning it from a charging drive from Ricky Page, and Matt Hammond completing the podium.
Yeah, Lawrence was really upped his game this year, and we had a really good clean race. He kept the pressure on pretty much through the whole race. The safety car gave me a bit of a breather, but yeah, a good move down into Redgate got us back in the lead, and yeah, second win of the weekend.
Made the move at what I thought was the last lap, and we crossed the line with 10 more seconds to go, so there was an extra lap, so I went a lap too early, but no, it was a good battle. It's good to be out the front, and it was good clean racing.
Really happy. You know, the car was fantastic. Has been all weekend really.
Started from the back and just made my way through to second. We had a very good race. The car feels phenomenal. Just a big thank you to everyone who's made it possible. The guys were prepping the car all night.
Go and rest. Some great racing so far in the Power Max Mini Challenge, and there's more to come from the Derbyshire track. So do join us after the break.